there wondering, how did they figure out the starting lineup? We didn't have heats. Well, that's very simple. We did what we did on Friday nights. Through the final round of practice, they took time trial laps, if you will, a group qualifying effort, and set up the lineup. The championship contenders, however, picked out of a bucket for their starting position in their order of those four. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that set them up 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Are you confused? It's really pretty simple. Field is set. 35 laps for the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Sportsman Division. Championship night, DAV Fall Classic evening, and we're ready to go. The Bristol Toyota Pace Truck pulls down to the infield. A little bit of a delay. We're back underway in just about 10 seconds as they look the field over. Off of 4. Green is out, and the Sportsman Division is underway for their finale. Off of turn number 2, they come in at the outside lane that gets the run, and the 10 of Chris Gomes sets the pace down into turn 3 and 4. Chris Rioux trying to follow through up on the outside. Doesn't have the run as he and Eric Schwegal run side by side behind Nick Wood. Wood holding on to second down the back straightaway as they thunder down into turn number 3. Your championship hopefuls all gaggled together. Here comes the 57 of Adam Pettey looking 3 wide. Settles it back in on the inside lane. Down through turns 1 and 2. Colby Lambert takes a look 3 wide down the back straightaway as Chad Baxter starts to go to work up top. Lambert down low. Pianka trying to thread the needle off of 4. He and Lineham with the 3 get together. They all continue on, but Axon becomes the leader of that group off of turn number 2. Lineham settles back in right behind Axon down into turn number 3 as they roll off of 4. 4 laps up on the board as they come down the back straightaway, and the man on the move is that number 0 of Chad Baxter. No surprise there. Dives down to the inside of Nick Wood. Off of turn number 4, takes away the second position as they try to go 3 wide underneath Eric Schwegal. Steve Axon on the charge. He leads that championship charge. Pianka starting to backslide on the top side. You got to wonder if he's got any damage to the right front after that collision that he had trying to get under the 3 of Chris Rioux. Eric Schwegal caught up top, and he has the 54 of Colby Lambert working the inside there down into turn number 3. Battle up front for the lead off of turn number 4, down into 1 and 2. Here comes Chad Baxter in the blue and silver and yellow 0, working that top lane, looking for the lead down into 3 and 4. Off the corner they come. Lap number 8 up on the board, and we've got a new leader. Baxter sets the pace. Gomes back to second. Here comes Axon up to third now as he gets by Nick Wood. The 27 of Wood back to fourth, the 19 of Lineham, and the 54 of Lambert battling side by side for fifth. They go wheel to wheel. The 88 of Schwegal, the 57 of Pettey is all in line. The 4 of Pianka is sitting back in the 9th position as they cross the stripe for lap number 10. Baxter sets the pace. Into 3 and 4 he goes. The 10 of Gomes holds on for second. Steve Axon right behind him, knocking on the door. All of a sudden, here comes the 57 of Adam Pettey. He slides by Eric Schwegal, and he's got some momentum going in the chain gang, number 57. He is worked by Schwegal up into the 7th position now. Sets his sights on Colby Lambert while Steve Axon works the inside of Chris Gomes looking for the number 2 spot, and he takes it away. Gomes trying to cross over off of 4 but doesn't have the momentum, and Axon is flying around this 1/3 mile oval. Field has strung itself out around the 3rd mile, and Chad Baxter has a commanding lead over the rest of the field, over a half a straightaway over Steve Axon. Steve says that's okay. Chad isn't in the championship final 4, and this would give Axon his 2nd career championship. Baxter underneath the 85 of Balmain puts him -1 to the leader. Nick Wood doing a great job holding on to the 4th spot, and that number 27 as he holds off the charges of Ryan Lineham so far. Eddie Perry slows up Slides it down to the infield to get it out of harm's way. A problem on the number 1, and he's going to pull it right down into the center of the infield as this field continues green. Lineham has finally gotten by the 27 of Wood as we are closing in. Lap number 18 will go up on the board off of turn number 4. Baxter sets the pace. Steve Axon is second. Third is the 10 of Chris Gomes. Ryan Lineham fourth. Nick Wood rounds out the top 5. Colby Lambert sixth. Adam Pettey 7th. Eric Schwegal 8th. Craig Pianka 9th. And Chris Rioux rounds out the top 10. Chad Baxter on a tear. Axon comfortable in second. And Axon has over a half a straightaway advantage back to third of Chris Gomes. Gomes having a good run in that number 10. He was one of the final 8, trying to make it into the final 4. Lineham all over the back of the number 10, knocking on the back door, trying to find a way by the Route 6 Automall Kia machine. Takes a look to the outside, down into turn number 3, looks for the crossover off of 4. Gomes trying not to let him in, but Lineham is already there. They hit turns 1 and 2. Gomes has the advantage. They make a little bit of contact. That loses them both a whole bunch of momentum, as Axon now has over a straightaway back to third. While Chad Baxter dominates this one. 23 laps up on the board for Baxter. His lead has steadied at about a half a straightaway over Steve Axon. Axon comfortable in the number 2 spot. Here comes Lineham taking a look now to the outside of Chris Gomes. They race off of turn number 2. That's the battle down into turn 3. Lineham working that top lane. Gomes on the bottom off of turn number 4. Gomes still has it at the stripe at lap number 24. 10 laps to go for Chad Baxter, running some absolute dominant laps here this evening, as he has already put a lap up into the top 12, closing in on Dane Saratelli, who sits 11th. He's gotten them, and now there are 10 cars left on the lead lap. Lineham up to third now, and without a caution, he is not going to be able to catch the top 2 in 9, make it 8 more circuits. A half a straightaway separates first and third. A straightaway plus from second to third. Talk about a dominant performance by Chad Baxter. 2 years ago, he won the title in the Sportsman division. He also won the National National Division 4 Championship out of the hundreds of drivers throughout the country. Well, he is 6 laps away from the checkered flag. Steve Axon 6 laps away from his second career championship. Will make it 5 off of 4. Pianka and Pettey battling for position deep in the field as they roll down the back straightaway. That is for 7th and 8th position, as your leader is closing in on that battle. Less than a half a straightaway separate that battle for 8th to Chad Baxter. 31 laps up on the board. And we are closing in on the finale, and Chad Baxter is the class of the field. He took over at lap number 5 and pulled away from everybody in this division here tonight. 2 laps to go. Baxter rolls off of turn 4. A gaggle of cars about a half a straightaway ahead of him. Doesn't look like that's going to be an issue. Steve Axon cruising around in that number 04, looking for his second career championship. And it has been a while since he's run for the title. White flag, final time around. Chad Baxter into 1 and 2. Axon gets the white flag. Down into 3 and 4 goes your leader, Chad Baxter from Pasco, Rhode Island. He'll come off of turn number 4. He'll pick up the win in dominating fashion. And Steve Axon picks up the 2023 Helge's South Coast Power Equipment Sportsman Division. Lineham in for third. Chris Gomes for fourth, and Nick Wood will round out the top 5. Year after year, you come back for a handful of races. And I always ask you, when are you going to do this for the full season again? You did it this year, and man, did it work out for you.
It did. I got to thank the crew. Without the crew, my engine builder, Ed Harrington, F&H Machine Shop, blowing an engine up on lap like 10 of the first race of the year. I was like, I'm done. I'm going to go to Maine. We're going to do some projects up there. He came through, got us an engine in a matter of days. He said, no, you're going back next week. You are going for the lead. You got to be lucky and you got to be good. And tonight I think we were lucky. I didn't even think the track was that good. Seemed like everybody got together. I ducked down low and then moved by a few guys, and all I could do was watch Chad sail away.
Coming back for the full season, I know you're not going to do this again next year because you like that time off, but it's got to feel real satisfying to be able to say, well, you know what, I finally decided to go back for a year and show them how it's done.
Yeah, I don't know if I showed them how it's done, but we certainly had a good year. You got to have a lot of luck. You got to have good equipment, good people around you, and you got to have a lot of luck. Without the luck, you can have the fastest car every week. I mean, look at Chad last year. He had the fastest car. He was ahead almost by 100 points or something. I mean, even look at Adam Pettey today. He was ahead of us by like 75 points, and I come out the champion. So it's a different method. You feel bad for guys that are that consistent and run that good, and then somebody like us comes and wins it, which we're running good. We're trying to run clean. Chad, keep your comments to yourself right now. But no, hats off to all these guys. They're a great group of guys. Couldn't ask to represent a better group of guys in the back of the pits. So it's a lot of fun. I got to thank everybody, and we got to dedicate this to Coach Jack.
Congratulations, champ. How about it, ladies and gentlemen?